What's up, all you people out there? You people, or you bots, what are you, human or robot? That's the existential question we're looking to answer in Phillip K. Dick's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? I'm going to book talk it up here today about this book, second book I've read this year. Subscribe if you're new, and welcome back if you're not. I have read this book twice in my life. Once was for a science fiction course in college, and now a good 10 to 15 years later, I felt the urge to reread it. It's been like a month or so since I finished it, so spare me if a couple details are inaccurate. I'll try not to be too specific, but I will say that I really enjoyed this book when I read it for my science fiction class, and I really enjoyed reading it again the second time around. I actually really like Phillip K. Dick's Electric Dreams as well. It's a collection of short stories. There's one in there I assigned to one of my classes recently, which is about these absolutely insidious advertisements that are promoted to this guy on his shuttle home from work in space, and it's just everywhere he looks there's a new advertisement for sex or some kind of like pharmaceuticals or something, and he's just so sick of it. By the time he goes home, his wife is nagging him about freaking buying the next big thing, and he's like, I just want to go on vacation. And the second he goes out the door, there's a robot right there trying to sell him on this vacuum product or something, and it will not take no for an answer. It's almost like in this kind of like loan sharky way. It's a terrific short story. I recommend that for a read. But let's talk about this book. I've actually tried reading some other Phillip K. Dick. There's this Confessions of a Crap Artist. I dropped that one. I think I should try and re-pick it up though. His work is not too long-lived. He has passed away. He died in 1982. I'm seeing it here, 1928 to 82, so add that up, 30 to 82. He was 54 years old when he passed away. This is the inspiration, I should say, for Blade Runner. Blade Runner is very similar, but it's not identical. I used to maintain back in the day that Androids was a little more thought-provoking and deep than Blade Runner could hope to be. Nowadays, I'm not so sure I can maintain that position. I'd have to rewatch Blade Runner. I do remember Blade Runner having some of those profound moments as well. But what I really like about Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is it constantly begs these existential questions of, are androids human? Can they feel? Is being human that much different than being an android? What if I am an android? And what's the difference between android and human? The main character in this novel, his name is Rick Deckard, that's his name. He's a bounty hunter, and he's just tired all the time, and he goes to work, and one of his life's ambitions is to get a real life animal. They're becoming extinct, so everybody's buying these replicas to satiate their needs. This is not a concept explored in the film, but it's one that is explored in the book, like every third, fourth chapter or something. He comes home to his wife programs her mood to make her feel better because she's also miserable. It's almost a critique of materialism in a way that I really like. And there's all these opportunities where he thinks he's getting a real animal. Is he getting a real animal? It becomes a question, and what's the difference too? So I like those kind of elements in this, that it's not strictly like an action, like I hunted the bounty hunter or something. I picked up this book recently by Keanu Reeves and somebody else. It was co-authored, and it was like, at least from the first 20 pages, it was just lacking any sort of critical commentary. It was just a strictly action. I was not feeling it, but this one does a nice blend of the two. And there's a couple androids that he's dispatched to take out. They're called the Nexus 6. Yep, this Nexus 6. I don't remember all of them, but I remember a couple of the standout ones. And as he meets these Nexus 6, he has to administer a test called the Voight Kampff test, which basically will assess whether you would give a human-like answer or an android-like answer. It's right 99% of the time. And so then there's questions of, did he truly administer it the right way? It's interesting to see the questions that the androids fumble up on, it's a question that I might pass is okay, you're on your way to work and Billy left the stove on. Do you call him and tell him to turn it off or something? Android answers yes. Billy's making a roast baby on the stove top for dinner tonight for the family. How many plates do you put out? I put out 6. what? You don't cook babies? So that's how you know, like, that's an android. And so these questions of like trying to figure out who is and is not an android is constantly fun. There's one situation in this book where he ends up at like a fake police department, and that's a really exciting chapter. There's another dude, I think they're called like chicken heads or something. They're like people who are left on planet Earth who are humans, and he's like all alone. He works for like this sewage company or something. That's a detail I got wrong, but it's the concept is similar. And the some of the androids come like and take over the building, and like they also like befriend the guy, but then like he thinks he has friends, you know, because he hasn't had friends in a long time, so he's so excited about them, but he's also being manipulated. And it's just really interesting to see Deckard's journey and experience and some of the comedy that happens along the way. It's a short read. It's a good 200 pages or so, and I recommend it. And you know, if you're looking for a quick short sci-fi classic to read, this is it. And especially as a read before or after Blade Runner, it's interesting to either see the inspiration or compare the inspiration to the film. So who knows, maybe I could do that someday too, if anybody would like to see that. That's it for me. Here's to me reading more, and you as well. So hey, have a good book read, y'all, all you people and bots. Goodbye.